right above Ethiopia was always Sudan. Their GDP was bigger than ours. But in their infinite wisdom, and I think maybe they did the right thing, they split, and our GDP became the fourth biggest. So what I said 2 years ago, and those of you who saw me speak at the Corporate Council in Africa where we released this report, a lot of people really thought we were completely mad. But we weren't. And we said, in 15 years it'll be the third biggest economy. It's already number 4. It has to move up only 1. What does that mean to you? Now, I have to be honest. It's aggregate GDP we're talking about. On a per capita basis, it's still a very, very poor country. But when you see challenges like that, you know what you see? Opportunities. So I give you an example of what I face every single day. I didn't bring my calendar with me, but I can show everything. Just last 3-4 weeks. Monday, I see a mining company from Brazil, right, wanting to invest in Ethiopia. Last week, I see a guy wanted to start an airline in Ethiopia. It's the third, I think, and the fourth airline. Every day. And then one of my colleagues, Yared, is here from Ernst & Young as well. We're currently trying to advise some people on investing in the pharmaceutical sector. Every single day, we see investors. But guess who's missing from the scene? All these, I said, were foreigners. We are missing, by and large. In our own country, I don't think we want to be bystanders. It's nobody's fault but ours. If we, 5 years from now, I hope there are no Kenyans in the room, or East Africans, let's say. I'm also responsible for East Africa, so I don't want to be persona non grata in East Africa. But I don't think we want, if I go to Kenya, with all due respect, I mean, Kenya is a wonderful country, it's done a lot of good, but much of the assets is owned by foreigners, by Asians. Okay? Now, it's a legacy of colonialism. We don't have that. So we will have no one to blame but ourselves if 5 years from now, all the assets in Ethiopia are owned by foreigners. So the message I have for you is, take it while it's still hot. Okay? Come in and invest while the barrier to entry is still very low. I'll give you a very personal example. I hope the cameras are off, but I don't care. My wife and I, we bought land, well, in quotation, in Ethiopia, you lease it, in 2003, in a place called Bole. It was 2,000 birr square meters. Square meter is, I don't know, for those of you who do feet and all that, you get your iPads to convert that. But we got 1,000 square meters for $225,000, 9 years ago. You know, 2 weeks ago, the plot behind our house, you saw the numbers, you saw the headline. I was very happy the newspaper left out my name from the coverage. It was sold for 10 times what we paid for it. 10 times. At this rate, if you haven't bought one of Ermias's properties, right, or one of those, you know, still affordable properties, you won't have the ability to own anything in Ethiopia. So even from a personal level. So what is it that is lacking? Partly unrealistic. I know why. For every debit, there has to be a credit. My background a little bit is accounting, so I have to balance both. What does that mean? You go to the bank in Ethiopia today, and you want financing. They'll be happy to give you the debt if you have the equity, which is very difficult. We have a private sector that's a teenager. That didn't exist 20 years ago. So one of the solutions, and especially for the diaspora, and I'll relate to the experience that we've had, is we want you to come together individually going investing in Ethiopia. Even today, for many of you, will be a challenge. Because the capital required will still be to open a factory or whatever. Come together. Pull your resources together. I think somebody used the example this morning of a coup. Well, have a slightly sophisticated version of a coup. Okay? And I'll relate to what we've done. You've seen probably in the program, this is my personal investment we're talking about. The two of the companies that are sponsoring a little bit of the magazine, Henok's magazine, Johannes' magazine, I'm sorry, is, I don't know if you guys have seen this. Have you seen this? Please remember them. This is called Fairfax Africa Fund. It's a private equity fund. And this one is called Fairfax Technology. Actually, we run out of space. We're going to sponsor a third one for the third. What we've done, and realizing that the challenge you face of going individually, is put together these funds. One of the funds that we set up 7 years ago doesn't admit retail like you do. But the Africa Fund, the Fairfax Africa Fund does. So if you're interested in investing, let us know, and I think, but individually will be done. So let me just summarize, because we have the Honorable Mayor, we have very important people on the dais. Why are some of the things, I gave you the numbers. One of the things that gives me encouragement, whenever I talk about Ethiopia, is the population, the Ethiopian people. I've lived in many, many countries. I've worked with a lot of people. Ethiopians are wonderful people, not only to congregate, but given a chance, they're willing to work hard. We hire a lot of very young people at Ernst & Young. Every day you come, even on Saturdays at midnight, they're on laptops. These are 21-year-old kids who are eager to work, eager to learn. That is one of the things that is giving us encouragement about the future of Ethiopia. It's a country of 80 million people. By our forecast, in 15 years, there'll be 117 million Ethiopians. 117. Okay, it's already the second most populous country after Nigeria. In some parts of Bole, it might seem like it's even more populous than Lagos, you know? So if you invest in this young, mobile population, deployable, educatable, then you got a working combination of success. You as potential investors, people who want to do business in Ethiopia, you actually have that. So the population is our biggest asset. It could be, I mean, China and India have shown the world that large population could be an asset. And I happen to think in the case of Ethiopia, it's an asset. We need to control population, but I think what we have right now is doable. So this is, in summary, where I see Ethiopia, where we came, where we're going. But the bottom line is you need to engage. I use 3 words: rethink, re-engage, reinvest. And that's the message I have for you tonight. Thank you very much.